So guys, the new update just dropped, and with that being said, it is another should you summon video. These actually got very well received, the last one did, so I'm going to keep it going for every new banner that comes out. So with that being said, let's go over the Watermelia banner. So the Watermelia banner has, of course, Watermelia herself, Talus, Roy, Niram, and Rayon. So we're going to break down each of these units individually, if in case you're new here, you're brand new to Grand Summoner, so you all know what they do. So let's go over Melia first. Watermelia, by the way, not Dark Melia, but Watermelia. Watermelia's skill is 1900% water damage physical, chance of freezing the enemy, 7-second cooldown, 800 break. Normal art is 2100 break, 15,000% water damage physical, reduce enemies' water and freeze resistance by 30% for 10 seconds. True art is 31,200% water damage physical, increase all allies crit rate by 100% and water units damage by 60% for 11 seconds, 4k break. She also has fire kill level 7 and burn resistance level 7. Also, she has at max LB a 5-star physical, 5-star support, and 4-star magic slot. Talus is a fire breaker. She has at her skill 1650% fire damage physical, reduce enemies break resistance by 25% for 6 seconds, 8-second cooldown, 1800 break. Normal art is 14,000% fire damage physical, increase own break power by 50% for 10 seconds when break gauge is under 70%, 3,500 break. True art is 26,000% fire damage physical, reduce enemies damaged own self by 50% for 8 seconds, and increase fire units attack by 100% for 15 seconds, 4k break. She also has a 5-star physical item, 5-star support, and 4-star support, followed by burn attack level 10, burn resistance level 10, and the radiant flora. This is her own thing, which pretty much, if you want to see it, man, it's her own thing. It's nothing too crazy, it's just her own thing. Awoken Roy is the next thing. We're skipping that. Niram skipping. The only other unit that I would say is notable is Rayon. He is a light breaker. His skill is 1900% light damage physical. Increases attack and break power every time skill is used. 7-second cooldown, 1900 break. Normal art is 16,500% light damage physical. Reduce all allies skill CT by 30% for 10 seconds. Light units get an extra 30%. 2,500 break. True art is 26,500% light damage physical. If enemy is dark, increase own true art damage by 100%. And 4,600 break. Followed with Dragon Kill level 8, increases damage to dragons. Boss Break BE up, this gives you 100% more BE up during boss breaking. And the Indomitable Fighting Spirit, which pretty much makes it to where Rayon cannot flinch. So that is all of the units on the banner. The ones that I skipped, like Roy and Niram, I personally don't think that they are really that great. Niram has uses only in arena, and that's about it. Roy, personally, I think that he is kind of not that great. I do think that he's a really good freeze unit if you want to freeze, but I don't think his slots are really all that great. And Roy overall is kind of a very lackluster unit. Same thing with Niram. Niram, though, does have a use in arena. That's about it. So let's go over Watermelia, since we talked about her a little bit. Watermelia is a fantastic unit. She is amazing, one of the best water units in this game. Now, I want to say that you don't see Watermelia a lot, and the reason for that is that it's because of her, what she does. She increases all water units, or not water units, but all allies crit rate by 100% and water damage by 60% for 11 seconds. Now, the thing is about Watermelia is that there's a unit in the game called Vox, and the reason why people use Vox over Watermelia is that, for one, Vox does more damage, and for two, Vox kind of already does what Watermelia does, at least with True Art, and that is that, you know, increases all allies crit rate by 100%. It does not do the water units damage by 60%, which is still a reason to use her alongside Vox if you want that extra damage, but then you have stuff like Weaver, for example, which Weaver increases all, well, not all water units, but, you know, all allies crit damage by 50%, which is going to give you more damage overall than just water units damage, which is kind of overdoing if you're using Weaver, Watermelia, Vox, and then like Nyes or Deas. I feel like that's kind of overdoing it. But still, I do think that she's a very good unit. I personally pulled her on my Fresh Start account, so I'm pretty hyped about that. But I personally think that she's really good. I think that she's probably judging by this, like, if I'm not considering Vox in the picture, right? And I want to say that if you just start playing the game, and let's say like you missed Vox, and you got Watermelia, you could use her. Like, she is pretty much a budget Vox, I want to say. Like, not like the sense like damage-wise, but what she does, it's very similar. If you put her on a mono water team, everybody on your team is going to benefit from her. Her slots are pretty good, so there's no real reason reason not to use her if you get her. The only real reason I could see you not using her is in case like you just want to use Vox or you have Vox already, so you don't want to use Watermelia, which would be the only thing. And even then you still would use Watermelia over some units. Well, of course there's Weaver in the game too, but Watermelia also with normal art reduces enemies' water resistance and freeze resistance. Water resist debuff is very, very strong because that's increasing your damage by a ton. So as you can see, I'm going to say this too, is that Watermelia is kind of a combination between Vox and Weaver, if you kind of notice with her kit design. So personally, I think that she's very, very good. If you are lacking Weaver, if you are lacking Vox on your mono water team, I would say put her on it and she's going to do you wonders. There's no reason you shouldn't use her. Moving on from that, we have Talus. Talus is a very solid breaker. I think that she's still top 5 breakers, definitely. It's definitely still in the top 5. I personally really like Talus too. It's a breaker. She's really cool. And yeah, I mean, if you want to use her, she's still, I think, yeah, she's still the best fire breaker in the game. So there's that. And you could definitely use her. There's nothing wrong with her. I think that she's, very top tier. Like I said, top 5 breaker in the game. We already covered Roy. Nurum we already covered with the, of course, only being usable in arena, I feel. And then we have Rayon. Now Rayon is still a light breaker, and he's still one of the best light breakers. Actually, I think he still is the only light breaker currently. I still think Rayon is good. I think Rayon's underrated personally. I don't think that he's as bad as everybody makes him out to be. If you go up against any dark boss, Rayon just destroys them. Like, I'm talking about just decimates them. Especially if they're a dark dragon boss, like the Cave of Darkness, or the Cave of Dark now, that's what they call it. Giant boss event, he is just gonna decimate him. I'm talking about murder that thing, and it's ridiculous. Any type of dark boss, Rayon is just gonna demolish, and even then Rayon is still really good. His slots are good. You can use him on a team. I personally, now this is gonna be very controversial and I understand this, but in some situations I would want to use Rayon over Freed on my mono light team, because not to say that Rayon's outperforming Freed, it's just that I like Rayon more, for one, and for two, this man is really good against any dark boss, and I don't know if he's actually going to outdamage Freed against a dark boss, especially if he gets like a crit chance buff. He may outdamage him, I'm not for sure. But still, I love Rayon. I think he's still a really cool unit. I think he's very underrated. I think a lot of people put him in like B tier, and I understand why, because he has this, very one-sided true art. But I still think he's good. I think he's a cool unit. I think he brings a good buff to the team, and there's no reason not to use him if you have him. And if you need that extra unit on your mono light team, it's not like you're gonna hurt yourself from using him. Because at one point in the game, let me tell you, new players, Rayon used to be the best unit in the game, but that has been long ago. So, OP, what is your thoughts on this banner? This is how I'm going to say it. If you have a really good mono water team, let's say you have Rimuru, let's say you have Thetis, or let's say you have Rimuru, let's say you have, who else? Let's say you have Rimuru, let's say you have Nyes, let's say you have Thetis. Do you recommend pulling on this banner? I think if you have that team and you are missing Vox or Weaver, or if you're missing Vox and you have those units, like, you have Weaver, Nyes, and everybody else, or if you're missing Weaver and you have Vox and everybody else, I think you pick up Watermelia. I think you go for this banner, because Watermelia, like I said, kind of fills that role. And there is no harm in doing the true art if you want to, because the true art not only does it increase your crit chance, it's increasing your damage with water units, which is good. That's good. That's not bad. That's good. So I think that if you're missing Weaver, or if you're missing Vox for your mono water team, I think you pick up Watermelia, because she's going to do you wonders. But I will say too that if you have Vox and Weaver already, this banner is a pretty hard skip, in my personal opinion, because you already have the units that kind of fill her role and somewhat do her role better. So there is that. And overall, the banner is kind of like all these units, even though I love my boy Rayon, shout out to the mans, and I love my girl Talus, this banner overall is not that great. I would recommend, though, if you're a new player, to definitely try to get Watermelia. She's going to help you out a lot in the early game and mid game and even late game. But Overall, though, if you're kind of an intermediate player, you know, veteran somewhat, you already have, like I said, Weaver and Vox, I don't recommend this banner at all. This banner is atrocious because of these two units right here, Nurim and Roy. Good lord, these two units are the two units that you do not want to get in your multi-summon. So, yeah, I personally say pull for it if you don't have Weaver or Vox. But if you have Weaver and Vox, or if you don't have Weaver and Vox, I would say give it a shot. At least one multi. At least one. Maybe two. But nothing else. Also, I want to point out, too, that this thing does have a 10k ALK. So if you want to spend your ALK stones on it, you can. If you don't want to spend your crystals and try to go for one of those units. But overall, though, that is my thoughts with it. If you don't have Weaver, you don't have Vox, pull for this because Watermelia is going to help out your mono water team. Especially if that's the team you want to use is mono water. But overall, though, best units to pull from this is Watermelia, Talus, and Rayon, in my personal opinion. The two losers of this banner is definitely Roy and Nurim. So, yeah, part of the guys, that's actually going to be it, though, for the video, man. Thank you all for coming out. It's been your boy, OP. Tell me what you think about this banner down below, if you think that you should pull for it, if you think you should wait on it, or what you think you should do. Also, I do want to mention before I end this video is that in September, we are getting the Season 2 One Punch Man. So maybe if you are trying to go really hard for Watermelia, you really want to, you know, that's your waifu or whatever, I understand. But I want to say don't go too hard if you are also wanting to pull on the One Punch Man Season 2 banner, which will be coming out sometimes in September. Apart from that, guys, thank you all for coming out, man. It's been your boy P. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more Grand Summoners content. And I'm out, guys. Peace.